One sitcom convention could assist young Sheldon's spin-off in humanizing Mandy, even though Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage Season 2 has to do so more. Although the title of Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage suggests that Georgie and Mandy are the main subjects of the show, young Sheldon's spin-off's first season did not always reflect this. It should come as no surprise that Sheldon's brother receives the majority of the story's attention, given that the show is a sequel to young Sheldon. Georgie has essentially taken over as the primary character of the comedy franchise since his father passed away shortly before young Sheldon's finale. The first season of Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage was largely devoted to his marital difficulties. Although Georgie and Mandy are the show's co-leads in theory, a review of Season 1 reveals that Georgie's work-related problems took up more of the show's episodes. Viewers naturally sided with Georgie in the majority of his arguments with Mandy because the show was centered on his viewpoint. But Mandy certainly had her share of very unpleasant, malign times. Mandy quickly became the unintentional antagonist of Season 1 due to her meaner side and the show's emphasis on Georgie's viewpoint. Since Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage is about the namesake pair and their marriage is mentioned in the title, Season 2 cannot just make Connor its new hero and ignore its original primary protagonists. Season 2 ought to provide Mandy an episode that values her viewpoint alone, as she is currently portraying a deuteragonist. With Georgie, Connor, her parents, and other characters only returning at the end, such an episode could follow Mandy through a day at her demanding new anchor job, juggling working with her ex, finding a caretaker for Cece, and the work itself. This kind of episode would demonstrate that Mandy has a challenging life of her own, which is mentioned but doesn't receive as much attention on television as Georgie's hardships. Although Sheldon's possible return in Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage Season 2 would be a simpler attempt to boost ratings, Mandy's character might be saved by an episode where she is the focus. In the past, this has benefited sitcom characters who would not otherwise receive the attention they merit. The effectiveness of the strategy was demonstrated by episodes such as The Amazing Rudy from Bob's Burgers Season 14, Episode 2, and Symphony of Illumination from How I Met Your Mother Season 7, Episode 12, in which Robin substitutes Ted's customary narration. Since Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage didn't do much to make viewers like Mandy, the show now faces the risk of making her a one-dimensional villainous sitcom wife. As a result, this young Sheldon star deserves a showcase episode in Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage Season 2. One of the show's stars commented that this change makes great sense, despite the fact that it may be disappointing that young Sheldon's main character no longer needs a cameo in Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage. The title of Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage hints at the peculiar plot of the show. The sitcom is essentially a reverse love story, much like How I Met Your Mother. Mandy and Georgie are happily married and beginning to establish a life for themselves with their infant son Cece in the young Sheldon finale. An older, more resentful Georgie mentioned an ex-wife in passing in the sibling realignment, episode 23 of Season 11 of The Big Bang Theory. As a result, the offshoot had to reconcile these two disparate representations. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to my channel for more videos.